To make things go right.
That was fucking stupid.
I'm fucking tired.
Yeah, me too, a little bit.
You need to stop coming over early.
Why?
Because I sit here and like I'm all
You
pumped.
eat?
I'm all pumped to get going when I get here. And then I sit here and then I made the mistake of eating. And now I'm tired. And then I ate like 2 donuts and I thought maybe the sugar will get me all hyped up again, but it didn't do shit.
No, that's what I said. I got bomb ass coffee
It
if
just
you want
filled
some.
my belly up even more and makes
But
me
you've been
want to take
drinking
a nap.
Mountain Dew and shit, so.
Yeah, Mountain Dew and shit.
Like I said, make sure you're talking into the mic.
Yeah.
But,
Oh,
well, I'm sorry you're tired, bro.
it's okay.
You,
I've had sick people at my house.
that sucks.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Well, we already are. That's the thing. Welcome to Jay and Mark.
Wait, let me put my game face on.
I don't like your game face.
Your game face is creepy as fuck.
Yeah, it scares me. Welcome to Jay and Mark. You know what episode this is?
30.
Yeah. Good job.
We're old balls.
Old balls.
We are old balls.
That reminds me of Billy Madison. With his loose skin and... Oh, no, that's not Billy Madison. That's Big Daddy. He's like, with his loose skin and
But I can wipe my own ass.
old balls.
I can
Gross.
wipe my own ass. That's from Big Daddy. Also.
Is that one of the Sprouse little
when
twins?
when they go to take away the little boy from oh god, what was his name?
Oh, from
when
Adam
they-
Sandler, yeah.
Yeah, when they come to pick up the little boy,
He's
he's like,
but I can wipe my own
"But
ass.
I can wipe my own ass."
own ass. Which was sweet as hell, but only made him seem like
Jen-
a bad guardian.
Yeah, Jen says it all the time, and then she also says, Microsoft went down 4 points. She does.
Yeah, because they were smashing cans in the grocery store
Microsoft went down 4 points.
because you get a discount.
Yeah.
And then Big Boobs McGee,
Yeah.
which is actually that girl, Leslie Mann, who she was also in like This Is 40 and Knocked Up, and she was the girl that said, "Where can we get some fucking France toast?" And what was that, 40-Year-Old Virgin? She puked all over him in the car. Anyway, that's all the same girl that was Blanchett. That's Leslie Mann. She's married to Judd Apatow. Did you know that?
What?
Yeah, she's Judd Apatow's wife.
I
So
guess
basically,
he's off the market.
Did you ever see Knocked Up or This Is 40?
Man, I am just drawing a fucking blank today. I know I've seen
Paul
both of
Rudd
them.
and Leslie Mann. They have kids and shit.
Yes.
Knocked Up is
Yes.
Seth Rogen. He gets Katherine Heigl pregnant.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Leslie Mann
yeah,
is the blonde chick that's married to Paul Rudd in that movie, and she's also the
Oh.
chick that was Jon Stewart's girlfriend that hated Adam Sandler and Big Daddy,
Yeah.
who
I
worked
got
at
you.
Hooters and shit.
Yeah.
Hooters.
Hooters. I can wipe my own ass.
I can wipe my own ass.
I can wipe my own ass.
Anyway, welcome to episode 30.
Anyway,
And
it's our birthday.
it's our 30th birthday.
Yeah.
It's officially older than me now. Not quite. Last episode I was
Fuck.
right there in age with it because I'm 29.
Oh,
But-
fudge.
Oh, fudge.
Except I didn't say fudge.
Sound just like that guy. Not at all. You said what you said you had something you wanted to talk about, didn't you? For this episode. I mean,
No,
we don't
no,
have
I mean,
to talk about it forever.
No, not anything terribly important, I guess, because it was just Well, I guess because normally you say
Is it a rant? Is it a Jared's pissed off? Is
no,
this
it's
the
not even a
return
rant
of
because I
what the
want
fuck with Jay?
No, I still want to get your opinion on it, which I think I already know your opinion. But basically, just seeing all the protests going on right now, and how they're talking about, and one of the funniest things I saw, because it's so true, is all these protesters talking about how Trump's gonna destroy our country, but yet these motherfuckers are going out and destroying our country.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're talking about the riots in
Yeah.
D.C.
The riots everywhere.
Was it Inauguration Day? Was that it?
Well, yeah. I mean,
'Cause-
they're still going on in certain places. Aunt Brenda just posted a thing on her Facebook the other day saying that her and Uncle Rod were out at a restaurant eating, and there was probably 50, 60 people out there protesting outside, up and down the street. They're in,
And don't they live in North Carolina?
yeah, in North Carolina.
Really? You'd think there'd be like a lot of supporters in North Carolina.
I don't know, dude. To me, it's just stupid, and I guess. Well, that's
Maybe not.
like I said, not so much a rant, just my thought on it. It's fucking retarded. You just broke your cigarette off again.
Yeah, no, it somehow got broken at one point.
But no, that's just one of the topics that I had for you, because you said try and come with a couple topics, and then
Well,
I don't understand. Okay, let me go back a little bit. I'm all about standing up for what you believe, and I'm okay with protesting.
No,
I think
it's your right to protest.
and I think it's a good thing in certain cases. But these people aren't protesting anything.
They're rioting.
Exactly. They're not protesting. They're rioting. They're just a bunch of upset assholes that are destroying other people's property that has nothing to do with the elect. I mean, they started to destroy a Starbucks because Trump was being inaugurated that day.
Yeah, but again,
what's that going to prove?
I didn't.
You're mad?
I didn't watch a bunch of videos, but all I saw was the one where they were just smashing up the windows.
Right.
And but
for what?
But that's all I saw. Was there more?
No, they were mad.
I'm sure
they were rioting,
all the protesters,
and they were just trying to destroy what they could. They lit police cars on fire.
Really?
There was a prisoner transport van that I saw that was on fire.
I didn't think it had gotten that bad. I thought they were just smashing up businesses.
During the inauguration parade, like 3 streets over, because they said I think they said they actually detoured around it. Normally they would have went down that street, but they detoured it around where they were protesting, like just a few streets over.
Yeah.
And they were literally lighting cars on fire.
Wow.
That's where they were smashing the windows of the Starbucks and the bank.
All right.
And these.
Did it say? Do you know how big was it? Like how many people were doing this?
Oh, there was thousands of people down there.
But was it? What I'm saying though, I know there was probably thousands of protesters, but how many of these protesters were rioting?
I don't know the number, but I know from the video that I saw, I'll bet you there was several hundred anyway that were running around like fucking retards. Destroying people's properties.
But still, compared to thousands, that's a small part of it. So I'm sure some of them were peacefully protesting, but it's those fucking crazy ass people that get extreme with it and riot. Just those are the problem. Like those people aren't protesting; those are rioters.
Right.
But I'm just saying, don't lump out the other 1,000 or 2,000 or however many it was.
Well, and.
It's these dumb motherfuckers
like I said,
that
Trump was elected. There's not much we can do about him being elected now. He's been inaugurated. He's in office. We're gonna have to see how the next 4 years go. But these people think that they're gonna get him kicked out of office or something if they just destroy, other people's property. Basically,
yeah.
if they just throw a temper tantrum and destroy property, he's just magically gonna not be your president anymore?
Yeah. The thing is,
you don't have to agree with it, but you have to deal with it. Just like when Obama was elected.
Yeah.
There was a lot of upset people, but you know what?
He didn't do the terrible job. He wasn't terrible.
No, he wasn't terrible, but when he was elected, there was a lot of upset people, but there weren't riots. There weren't people going out looting and destroying things.
Yeah. I don't know that for sure, but I don't remember hearing anything.
I don't remember hearing about it.
Yeah.
But it's just a bunch of big babies throwing their temper tantrum.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not happy he's president either, but I mean, I'm not fucking...
I'm
not
you what,
protesting, nor am I rioting.
I'm happy that Hillary's not president.
I mean, he's been president for what, a few days?
What is today?
Today's the 23rd.
For 3 days.
3 days he's been the president. Well, I mean...
Today, apparently
I
today...
know, from what I've heard, he's been doing some kind of crazy things. Who he's putting behind him in his cabinet and shit was a little like, really?
Yeah,
but,
well, I agree with that too. There's some people that he put in there that have zero experience. But you know what?
They're just fucking like dickhole dummies.
Well, no, they're actually very smart, very intelligent.
I saw a video of whoever he put in charge of education, and she like didn't know anything. Al Franken just schooled her.
Yeah,
showed that she had no idea. She didn't even know what he was talking about.
Right, and she openly admitted that it's not a position she's ever held before, but she says I'm willing to work with everybody to make sure that whatever it is gets done.
I mean, anybody with good intentions and with the right help can do some good.
Agreed.
But I mean, they look really bad. And from the things you hear about them, and like a lot of these people. I'm not a political dude. I do not follow most of these people, but just through other people's opinions and what you read in articles and shit, you hear some shit that you're just like, really? Well, that doesn't seem right.
And here again, bringing these people into office with Donald Trump, in my opinion, is still kind of a good thing. Even though they haven't held those positions before, they're not career politicians.
Yeah.
Just like Trump is not a career politician. He's a businessman, and he's going in there with the intent of cleaning a lot of this shit up. And with that said, it brings me to another point. And I don't know if this was something he said or if it was something that was made up, but I saw it on the internet, and I thought, regardless of who said it or who made it up, that's a great fucking idea.
Yeah.
But all these people that are rioting and stealing and looting and destroying people's properties, they made it out as if he said it. Again, I don't know if he said it. I'm not saying that it was a quote from him or not, but they said anybody that is arrested for rioting or looting will immediately lose your government benefits. That's a great fucking idea. But you know, there were people bitching about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if somebody's out there being a dickhole and committing crimes and shit, I see how it would be kind of shitty. Like, people make mistakes. You shouldn't just fucking, like, fuck them over. But
right, but rioting and looting is not a mistake. That's an intentional act
that's
to go out and destroy.
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I could understand. I think they should be punished, but I don't know if they need help, they should get help. You know what I mean? Because if they serve their time and they pay their debt to society, I think they should, when they get out, they should be treated just like give them their second chance, because that's what they were given.
Right,
but
and that's fine. But if you get, it's just like going out and driving drunk. What do you lose? Your driving privileges.
No.
If you go out and you destroy government property,
you eventually get
like
them back,
lighting,
depending on how severe of the outcome.
No, and you're absolutely right. But they're going out and they're destroying government property, lighting police vehicles on fire, destroying government buildings, smashing out windows. You're going to disrespect. And I'm not saying that our government is great. You believe me. Watch any of our other podcasts, and
depending
you'll know
on
what
the
I'm
situation,
saying.
I might think rioting is the answer.
I never think rioting is the answer.
Well, I mean, depending on how severe, like if something fucked up is happening and the government is not budging on something, and they're just letting this fucked up thing continue to happen, I think drastic measures do sometimes need to be taken to be like, look, you need to fucking do something about this.
And I agree.
And I
with
mean,
that.
I don't think anybody should get fucking hurt, but I think you need to send a fucking message sometimes.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. But what is so fucked up that these people are out there rioting and
Really?
protesting, I
Really?
understand, but
No,
rioting
yes,
and
yeah.
looting and destroying property over what? Because he was elected.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I totally
Because there's these people that wanted him in office, and there's
Because
these
they
people that
lost.
didn't want him in office. So these big fucking babies that got award trophies for coming in last and think that they deserve the world
some sort
on
of
a platter.
compensation because they lost.
Right.
They at least deserve a participation trophy. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're out there throwing their temper tantrum because they didn't get their way.
Yeah. No, I agree. This is not a reason to riot.
No.
I mean, if he, I mean, he's not a great guy. He's definitely said terrible things, but I mean, like, that. I agree.
Right. He's definitely said some terrible things, and now see, and this goes against a lot of what our family believes, but I believe that women should have the right to choose. And
yeah, no. Even
and,
judging
and
by
as
what our
of
family
today,
believes.
and as of today, he signed a bill to ban abortions.
It was today.
It was today. He signed it this morning. Yep, he
to
signed
ban
it this morning.
all abortions.
Well, he's trying to basically
birth.
he's trying to take away abortions completely. Basically,
I don't think that's right.
Basically, if you're pregnant, you don't have to keep your child, but you at least have to
birth it.
Exactly.
Which, I mean, in a lot of situations, I think people should have to live with the responsibility, at least in the case of having the baby, because who knows? A lot of people, once they see that baby and hold that baby, their whole fucking mind could change. Right. They don't want to give it up. There's people who always regret the months of adoption bullshit they went through that is ironclad now. You
right.
know what I mean? But
I don't like the idea of abortion. I don't like it.
No, I think you should fucking man up and take responsibility for yourself. But in certain situations, I think it might be necessary.
And that's where I'm going with this. I don't like the idea of abortion. I think it's a terrible, terrible thing. But I also think rape is a terrible, terrible thing.
Rape, incest, any kind of health, like if it could kill the mother, you know what I mean? I understand. Yeah. I can understand. And not only that, but like even if people choose to do it because, you know, they're for a reason that's kind of like, all right, well, you're just not wanting to take responsibility. I mean, that's their decision.
You're absolutely
even by
right.
the standards of most people that want it banned, they do it because of like religious reasons.
Well, and
because
here's the thing.
they feel like it's like against God or something. You know what I mean? But in the end, God gave us free will. Even in the religious view, you know what I mean? God gave us free will according to them to make our decisions. And Judgment Day is when you die and you go to heaven. You know what I mean? According to the Bible.
Right. Well, it's when you're judged and
you
determined whether or not you go here or
you
there.
Can't.
But yeah,
people have the right to choose things in their life.
Right.
And even if you believe that it's against God, that's between them and God.
Exactly.
That's for the Judgment Day in the end
exactly.
that they believe in.
Exactly.
They're contradicting themselves.
Exactly. I agree with you 100% on that.
Like
100%. I think like I said, personally, and I'm not a woman, so I can't say that if I were a woman and I were to get pregnant through rape or whatever the reason is and I did not want to be pregnant, I can't honestly sit here and say that no, I would have that baby. Mm-hmm. Whether I kept it or not, I would still have the baby. No, I can't do that. Yeah. But I can say that if it were a situation where myself and my girlfriend got pregnant and it was unplanned and it was a mistake, we didn't mean to get pregnant, but at the same time you got to follow through and you got to, like you said, you got to man up and take care of your responsibilities.
Exactly.
But like you said, there are other situations where that pregnancy could take the mother's life and you have to make a choice on what to do.
Mm-hmm.
If you take away the right completely, well, the doctor's straight up saying, you have this baby, it could kill you.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
you
not
have
right.
the right.
That's not right.
You have the right to choose whether or not you want to chance it or you don't.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some people probably would be like, I don't care. I'm having this like this. They would probably choose the baby's life over their own. Some people. I mean,
people would.
There has to be like at least one person.
Some people would,
many.
but you can't expect those other people that wouldn't to make that choice.
Yeah.
Or to have that choice taken away from them.
Yeah.
Actually, is what I should say.
A lot of people hate on Planned Parenthood too, which I don't understand because Planned Parenthood doesn't actually do abortions.
Well, some
they schedule them.
I believe some of right.
But most of what they do is pregnancy prevention. Like
Right.
they'll give away condoms and stuff. They give information. They inform people like, look, this is what happens, and you can prevent it. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, there's also other
But
services.
they do schedule abortions.
I
and
mean,
that's what
they
everybody
they
gets on
have
for.
full-time doctors at Planned Parenthood, where for people that are low income or they just don't have insurance
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, if they absolutely had to, they could go to Planned Parenthood and see a doctor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But they don't perform
it's-
abortions at Planned Parenthood. It's not like a.
I don't know that for sure. I do believe there are some Planned Parenthoods where they did do that.
They might
or
like
where
a
they
doctor will
could do
come
that.
in.
Yes.
I
don't know that to be
I don't really
a fact,
think of
though.
Planned Parenthood as like a doctor's office. I always thought of something like that being more like a hospital.
If you go, I know there's a Planned
But I know there's
Parenthood-
abortion clinics.
There's a Planned Parenthood right here in Canton, and right there on Cleveland Avenue, and they have doctors there where you can go in and see a like
But
a
don't
like a
fucking-
gynecologist doctor. I mean, you're not going to go in there for the flu.
Yeah.
You know, if it's a woman issue, you know, something to do like gynecology.
I don't think that's there anymore.
Well, I know that's what I'm saying. I know it used to be. The Planned Parenthood is there.
I don't think it is. I think it turned into like an Altman healthcare place.
Is it gone?
I think it's gone.
Oh, okay.
But
Well,
you
I know that it
probably
was
shouldn't
there.
Name those places because what if there's some extremists? Because shit happens to Planned Parenthood all the time.
Everybody knew that Planned Parenthood was there.
I guess that's true. It's not like it's a secret.
Right.
But
I know that some of the religious groups around here used to protest out in front of that building all the time. All the time.
They still do sometimes over like on the corner over by where I work.
Yeah.
Over
Out
the
there
corner
on
Sheets.
Yep.
And they're also like assholes about it. You know what I mean? Like I can understand protesting, but they have such like hateful signs and shit and like just because you don't agree, you know what I mean, doesn't mean you have to fucking shame people.
Well, and what
Because a lot of these people already feel bad about it as it is.
Right. What happened to well, I was going to say the whole religion thing and being all about loving your neighbor.
Exactly.
And being there for other people and taking care of people instead of shaming them and making them feel bad because
yeah.
because
I
they
understand.
whatever the fuck the reason is.
Well, no, I got you. And not all they don't all do that. Some people just are genuinely good people and they see the good in it. Because there is some good in religion. Most religion is based on, like the core of it is, you know, basically positive. But
Right.
a lot of it, it's the politics with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Apologize. I need to pack my cigarettes. I won't do it very long.
Gosh, we'll edit this out.
No,
I'll just not move so you can
But
pause
yeah,
and cut and then restart.
that's kind of fucked up that he's doing
action.
that. I feel like everybody has the right to make decisions. You know what I mean? Like bad decisions too.
Right. Well, it's
As long as and this is gonna be weird because something is dying, but like it's under certain circumstance. I think if it's not one of those, it depends on the situation really. If it's something really terrible and there could be some drastic consequences if it happens, I think it's necessary. But I think in most cases where people just don't want to have a kid and stuff like that, like just coming from a guy who kind of thinks that everything happens for a reason. Mostly because even science says that everything happens for one reason or another. Like, you know what I mean? With actions and
Right.
reactions and shit. But like, maybe you're supposed to have that kid. it's just not the right time. You know what I mean? Like maybe it is the right time, and you
Right.
just don't know it. Like maybe I'm totally wrong.
Right. Well, going back to what you had just said a couple minutes ago, it's kind of like being a parent, where you could tell your child, no, you can't do that, and they try and do it again. You say, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And then they just keep testing you, and they keep trying, and you say, no, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
And then finally, they keep, and you go, you know what? Fine. Do it. See what happens.
Yeah.
Touch that hot stove. Go up them steps without holding onto the rail. Climb over the back of the couch. And then they fall and hurt themselves, or they burn their hand, or they roll down the steps.
Yeah.
And
Get themselves or something.
and they start crying because they're hurt, and you say, see? That's why I tried to tell you. You, whether it's you, just like with adults and the government trying to tell us, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Adults try and get around it
Like marijuana.
just the
Marijuana's a
exact
good
same
example.
way that kids try and get around their parents telling them no. Until finally the parents say, okay, do it and see what happens.
Mm. Sometimes it backfires
you know what I mean?
in the parent's face, though, too.
Well, sometimes.
But I guess I see what you're saying there.
I
don't know. I think people have the right to make their bad decisions as long as it's not like you're not like a villain out there killing motherfuckers, being a psychopath. Like I know something is dying there, depending on what you think about like when life begins and shit, you know.
Mhm.
But either way, something is not being brought into the world, and I think it's up to it's no matter what you choose there, it's your responsibility to
right. And that's I guess that's what I was saying. I
whichever you
believe
choose.
for me
That makes
personally, I'm not down with abortion, but I'm also not down with telling a woman what she can and can't do with her body.
Exactly.
If a woman, well, it just what it boils down to is we're supposed to be free people. We're supposed to be.
Yeah, we have free will.
We have free will. And that's the way it needs to be. That's the way it should stay.
No, and when it comes to the religious aspect of it, like I said, that's between them and God, if that's the way you look at it.
But Starbucks don't have anything to do with that. And Chase Bank don't have anything to do with that.
No, it doesn't.
And the other buildings around on that parade route didn't have anything to do with that.
The way they look at it, though, is like this is a billionaire company, you know, $1 billion company, and this is a fucking bank that runs the world and shit. You know what I mean? And that's another thing. Trump's putting a bunch of fucking billionaires in office when he's supposed to be the anti-establishment.
So what if we look at it from the other
when he himself
from another
is
perspective?
Also a billionaire.
What if the cop, or well, we won't say the cop. We're not talking about cops. We're talking about the government. So say the government is standing next to your mom. Okay?
The government is standing next to my
You've
mom.
got we'll say the government. We're just going to go with we're going to call the man the government. So he's standing there next to your mom.
So like a government representative
we're
standing
speaking,
next to our mother.
Yes,
okay.
And we're speaking hypothetically. So I know that sounds silly, but
of course we are.
The man or the government is standing right there next to your mom and your dad. You've got the man, you got your mom, you got your dad.
We get it.
Okay.
Just why?
And the government says, don't do that. And you do it anyway. And they go and knock your mom over.
The fuck?
They knock your mom down to the ground and they bust out her teeth. And they blacken her eye. And you continue to do it. So they turn around and they just pop one off on your dad too. And now your dad's teeth are falling out and his eyes are all blackened and he falls to the ground.
Okay.
Your mom and dad didn't have shit to do with the fact that you didn't listen.
All right.
So how is that any different than Starbucks, Chase Bank or any other private organization or whatever when you don't like what's going on and you want it to stop, instead of going through the proper channels, I guess, and having a peaceful protest or whatever, not destroying other people's property.
No, I get what
your
you're
mom
saying.
and dad being other people's property.
No, I get the analogy, but
Yeah.
I think at the same time, like, even you being someone who thinks about the Illuminati and shit, like, you could probably understand how, like, Starbucks, big business, and banking could be linked to the government. And
Well, I'm sure.
you know what I mean? Like, that's where I'm thinking these rioters are thinking smashing up a Starbucks. They're thinking Starbucks is the fucking man. The Bank of America is the fucking, you know what I mean?
Right,
That's
but
what they're
how is
thinking.
that going to keep...
I'm not defending them. I'm just saying.
No, and,
like,
I know you're not. I know you're trying to make a point, just like I'm making a point. But how is... Whether or not somewhere up the chain of command Starbucks has anything to do
No.
with the government...
No matter what they're doing isn't doing anything to help their cause. It's
Right.
it's only hurting their cause.
Right.
Not
Exactly.
to mention how fucking
And their biggest
they
thing...
have no fucking reason to be doing this aside from you lost the election and you're kind of a sore loser.
Right. You're a sore loser. You're upset because you didn't get your way, and...
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not happy he's the fucking president either, but
Well, none of us are.
that's why the
Nobody
other
really is.
1,600 people or however much were peacefully protesting.
Right. But if you go back, I mean, there was a lot of people that weren't happy about Obama being president. There were a lot of people that didn't like George Bush being elected president. There were a lot of people that didn't like Bill Clinton being elected president.
But the thing
there was
is-
a lot of people that didn't like George Bush Sr. being. But you know what? It wasn't until
Trump.
recently that all these fucking retards just got out of control stupid.
It's the internet, man.
You're right. A lot of it is the internet. A lot of it's the news. A lot of it's a lot of misinformation. A lot of it is people being paid to protest.
And false news and shit like that, yeah. Dumb fucking people that believe in causes just because it's cool to believe in a cause and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah,
Like,
agreed.
no, I got you.
It's just a bunch of...
But the difference between Bush and Obama and Clinton and, you know, everyone is that, and Trump, is that they were politicians. They had, I mean,
Trump
isn't.
Right.
At all.
Right.
He's a businessman.
Well, and like I said, I wasn't...
And
I wasn't...
none of those guys said and did and acted the way that Trump does.
Right. I wasn't excited about Trump. I wasn't excited about Hillary. But we have who we have. I think he is going to change a lot of things.
He hasn't done anything to fucking riot over yet. You know what I mean? He hasn't done anything to be that upset about yet. I mean, he said some terrible shit, and he's offended a lot of people, and people did speak up, and they did protest, and they did some terrible shit too.
Right.
But I mean, like at the time when I was reading about it, I heard that 2 cops were hurt. There was I'm sure there were casualties. It's just not it's not doing anything. It's
Right.
not doing anything.
Well, we've said it several times. It's just
It's part of the problem.
it's a bunch of participation award getters not getting their way and having a poor me.
A poor me moment.
Right.
And then an Angelica from Rugrats moment.
Yeah. They're just
That's a deep cut.
just a bunch of sorry pissy pants.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's stupid. Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, that's kind of a grim, shitty topic. Maybe we should move on, but I guess we got our feelings known on that one.
Yeah.
Hate
Heard any
us or
good
love
alien
us, that's
stories
how we
lately?
feel, I suppose. Say what?
Said heard any good alien stories lately?
Mm-mm.
I'm just kidding.
I do want to see that movie Arrival really bad, though. Have you heard about it?
Yeah.
I heard it's really fucking good, and there's a twist ending. Apologize for
I
making noise.
think we're gonna find out about aliens this year.
I know, you already stated that in the last one.
Yeah.
I edited it, so I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you went on a whole good, 20-minute thing about that.
Yeah. I'm good for that stuff. He is out.
Yes, he is. That's good though.
Yeah. Get his nap in now so he doesn't stay up all night, and then he can go to bed early.
I had something kind of crazy happen to me the other day. I had when I was at work, and I was, you know, Sheetz is like a parking lot away from where I work.
Yeah.
I was walking to Sheetz to get something to drink on my lunch break, and I get up on the sidewalk and I start walking, and there's this black dude, and he's in the parking lot, and he's walking, and I'm pretty sure he had a backpack on, and he was walking through the parking lot, and I guess I didn't notice at first, but he was trying to flag me down, and he eventually got my attention and walked over to me, and before he could even tell me what he wanted or why he was there, he asked me, he said, "You're not prejudiced against black people, are you?" And I just laughed and said, "No, why, what's up?" He's like, "So you don't have a problem helping out a black man in need?" I was like, "Well, I mean, no, I mean, if I could, I'd help." And just setting me up to be like, if I said no to whatever he had to say, I'm a racist.
Okay.
And pretty much. And he was like, "Hey man, you think I could you could buy me some gas or whatever?" In my head, I'm thinking like, dude, you're walking and you don't even have a car, and you're walking with a backpack through the parking lot. He probably doesn't even want gas. I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe there's something up. But I had like $6 on me, dude. I had enough to get me some drinks and maybe give me some drinks the next day. You know what I mean? It's not payday yet.
Right.
And like, I'm struggling just as much as you. And I was just like, man, I got just enough. And before I could even finish saying I got just enough to get me something to drink and maybe something to eat if I'm hungry. But before I could even get that out, he just went pff, and walked away. And I'm like, I even said like, all right, you know, go ahead, be a dick about it when you're trying to ask me for something. And I just didn't get. I just thought that was strange.
He probably got participation awards.
No, I'm just thinking like, dude, anybody
was
who is in need and is asking for someone's help, you don't need to be a fucking asshole to him.
Right.
Not only that, but he was baiting me. He was trying to give me more motive to say yes, so that I wouldn't appear racist.
Right.
As if, purely because I'm white, I'm not struggling too.
Right. Was he an older guy or was he younger? Like,
he was probably maybe like 30s, mid-30s, maybe 40.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was just curious.
But I was telling Doug about it when I got back, and he just thought it was the funniest shit ever. I was like, what? He felt the same way I did about it.
I don't understand what's happened to this country where everyone feels entitled, where if they just ask, they expect to get it without doing it. And not to say the guy didn't have a job.
Well, no, I wouldn't have a problem. I probably would have gave him like $5 or $10 if I had it.
Right.
But dude, it's I'm on the second week. I get paid every 2 weeks.
Right. But, well, and that's what I'm getting at. I don't understand why people... I guess it's not all of a sudden, because I think I did say that, but I was about to say it again. Maybe it's not all of a sudden, but it seems more frequent that you run into these people that just feel so entitled to, well, I don't have it, you do, so you should let me have some of yours.
No.
You know what I mean? I don't get it.
I understand.
I mean, what's happened?
I understand people are in need, and if you're in need, like, you're pretty dire, and you might get upset after a while if you're asking people and asking, you know, and nobody's helping. Or, I mean, there's certain circumstances in which you might need to be a dick about it a little bit. Right. But, like, in most occasions you shouldn't, especially if, like, you are in need and you're asking somebody for help. Like, worst thing you could do is fucking be a dickhead to them. Nobody's going to want to help you if you're an asshole about it.
Well, especially with the way he approached you, too, was kind of
he was
shitty.
It was. I mean, I could even say anything to him or didn't. He just...
Right.
I don't know.
No,
was weird.
I get what you're saying.
It was a weird situation.
Get what you're saying. But
you're right. There are, it seems more often than not, it's people do feel entitled to whatever. And if you tell people no, they get pissed off.
Yeah.
And, I mean, again, if I could have helped him out, I probably would have helped him out. If I can help anybody out, I try to help him out.
Right.
I do whatever's in my power.
Right.
Most of the time, money's not involved because I don't have money.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, I guess I could have sacrificed my 20 ounces, my two 20 ounces that I'm getting. The only reason I buy them is because they're buy
pop.
one, get one for $1.
Of pop. It's not like it's 2 20 ounces of beer or something. It's your lunch break and you're going to get your lunch.
Yeah.
You know.
Like, I could have gave him that, but what's that going to do? I'm going to be out of drink.
Would have got him 2 gallons of gas. Or a gallon of gas.
But yeah, that might get him home.
You're such a dick.
Something. I don't know the circumstances.
You're a dick.
But he doesn't know my circumstances either. You know what I mean?
You should have said, I'll buy that backpack from you. And then see what he said.
Well, I should have been like, well, you got anything to trade for me?
Right. Right. And that's the thing. A lot of times, they're going to be like, fuck you. Yeah. Fuck you.
Like, okay, so I'm supposed to help you with nothing in return?
Well, see, and that's the thing. It shouldn't be about that. But if you put that person to the test, it would have absolutely been about that. Because if he really, really needed that money, and you said, and you said, well, I'll tell you what. What do you got in that backpack you're carrying around? I'm going in there to buy a soda. You got an extra soda in there? I'll buy my soda from you instead.
Yeah, you got some Pop-Tarts or something? I'm kind of hungry.
Or whatever.
Yeah,
I have $6 left. I'm going in there to buy my lunch and then go back to my job. So I'll tell you what. What do you got in that backpack? You got an extra soda in there? I'll buy that from you.
Well, just by judging how he reacted and how he was talking to me in general, all the way around from start to finish, I would think that if I asked something, and I could be wrong, but if I asked him for something in return or did something like that, he'd probably be like, man, are you fucking serious? You know what I mean?
Probably.
Like, he probably would have been like, dude, for real?
Right, and that's what I'm getting at.
He probably would have got a little bit shitty about it, at least.
Right.
At least a little bit of attitude in there.
Now, if he would have said, you know what?
But I probably would have been like, fuck,
actually.
You like my wallet? I'll give you my Star Wars wallet or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
If it was me, and if it was the other way around, or like, look, you come here often, I'll give it back to you when I get paid on Friday or some shit. Like, right here. Right around the same time. But, I mean, or not. Which might be bad. If it's the wrong person, I might be setting myself up for a disaster. But
right.
I don't know. But like I said, not everybody can help motherfuckers out at that particular time. And people need to understand that shit.
Yep. No, I agree with you.
And just because I'm white doesn't mean I'm not helping you out because you're black. It means the struggle is real, man.
Right. You're not the only one struggling.
Yeah. If it was a white dude that came up to me, anybody came up to me, I couldn't give it to them either.
Well, let me ask you this. If the roles were reversed and you went up to him and you said, regardless of let's imagine the guy was white, okay? We're not talking about color. We're talking about human beings.
Okay, no, that's...
Okay, imagine the roles were reversed and you went up to him and said, man, I need to get some gas. You wouldn't happen to have $2 I could get from you, would you? And he said, no, man, I'm sorry. I have $6 left. I literally am on my way to get my lunch, and then I have to go back to work. That's all the money I have on me. Mm-hmm. I can't afford to.
Which is exactly
you know what you should have done? You should have picked up a rock and threw it through Sheet's window because it's their fault too. And they deserve to lose out because you're upset and you want to throw a pity party and be mad because somebody else wouldn't give you something for free or do something that you wanted or something that you wanted didn't happen. So you should have went over and smashed out Sheet's window.
At Sheet's.
Exactly. And then you should have started yelling and screaming and getting other people involved and getting everyone else riled up and then let them start smashing out windows. And then you should have went back to work and started tearing apart all the machines that you work with and then dumping over, the big oil pan things or whatever you work
vandalizing.
Around. Just start tearing shit apart. Tusk. You know why? Because you deserve it. Because you deserve it.
That is not where I thought you were going to go with this. I thought you were going to be like, what would you do? But no. And I do not see how any of that is necessary, but I see what you were trying to do there.
Right.
But to answer what I thought you were going to do, what I would have done, I would have been like, that's cool, man. I understand. Struggle is real. And I would have moved on.
Right.
But probably would have thanked him anyway. Like, thanks for just talking to me and not just ignoring me.
Right.
But Yeah.
I would have went and smashed out Sheet's windows.
Or, I mean, he could have been the
I might have even
20th person I asked that day. I would have been like, damn.
I
fuck,
might have
man.
even went over to
But I
somebody
still would've been
pumping
like,
their gas.
It's not your fault.
Might have even went over to somebody pumping their gas and knocked that motherfucker out of their hand and then lit that shit on fire so
then
burn their car up.
Then you, sir, are also part of the problem. You're that entitled
Struggle's
person.
real.
You're that entitled person that you're hating on right now.
Actually, I'm not. I'm trying to make my point.
No, I know that.
By using your example
busting
to
your
make
balls.
my point too. No, and I know you are. But anyway.
But no, that was a weird occurrence, and I thought about it. I thought about it for a little while afterward, and I thought I'd talk about it. Maybe somebody can give their opinions on. Maybe I'm a total dickhead. Tell me if I'm wrong, and I'm a stupid dick.
No.
But I definitely didn't get it.
No, I absolutely agree with you in the situation and what you did. And, I mean, if you had it, knowing you, if you had it, I know you would have given him a few bucks. Just like, you know.
Dude, even if I had like 10 or 15 bucks, as long as I had enough to get my drinks and shit, I would have gave it to him. Like, I just know how bad it sucks to not have anything to drink at work for 8 fucking hours.
Right.
And the water in the sink tastes like shit. I'm not going to drink that all fucking
And the
day.
factory you're in is like 100 and something degrees.
Yeah.
So, you need shit to drink.
I mean,
Speaking of which, my cup's empty.
chances are, on this occasion, it wasn't. Because it was like my last few dollars. But like, chances are, I probably asked Mom for that money that day. You know what I mean?
Right.
I didn't that day. It was actually my last few dollars. But most of the time in that time period, I'm having to be like, hey, Mom, can I borrow like $3 so I can get some 20 ounces? But yeah.
Right.
Anything else you'd like to talk about, sir? I know you said think of some topics. You made it plural, so I thought maybe you had one more. Maybe not something so negative.
No, it was my two topics that I had were the rioting and the women's rights things.
Gotcha.
Those were my 2 points. There was here a funny one actually, but there was a picture on the internet I saw, and it was this woman protesting, and she was holding up
I think I know
a sign that said "fuck you, you fucking fuck," and the caption underneath it said, "You had one opportunity, and that's what you chose to say."
I saw one, and I can't remember what it was, but it was some chick. She was holding a sign that said, "Patriotism is." Might have said patriotism is racism or something, but whatever it said was like just completely stupid and wrong. Just like,
right.
What?
Right.
Like like that's not.
Well,
you don't
and
even know what you wrote there.
But exactly what you just said. It comes back to the fact that most of these people don't even understand what it is they're protesting.
Did you ever see the clip? The guy was asking a Trump protester a question, and he was like, I forget what he asked her, but he said, well, she just didn't agree with what he was doing, and she said, well, what should be done? And she just was flabbergasted. She had no idea what the fuck to say.
Right.
Like, she was basically protesting. I mean, I understand. I'm not a politician. She'll eventually just stop. She's locked out, so don't worry about it. It's louder to hit it than to hear her do it. But
I thought I was stopping her.
I lost track because you're hitting shit.
Sorry.
I don't know what
Sorry.
I was even saying.
She was flabbergasted, didn't know what to say when he said, so what should we do?
But I was saying, I understand that, like, yeah, she's not a politician and shit like that. But, I mean, if she's protesting something, she should at least know what the fuck she's protesting and why she's protesting it.
Right. Well, yeah. I agree with you on that.
And maybe, like, I mean, I don't know what should be done for a lot of the problems with the fucking country and whatnot, but, I mean.
Well, and see, that's the thing.
But I'm not out there protesting saying that this guy's. I could, you know what I mean? That somebody's fucking up.
Right. But see, that's the thing. Clearly, nobody knew how to fix the problems that we were having. And that's why we elected somebody that was on the outside. He wasn't a career politician. And again, I'm not saying he should have been elected. I'm not saying he shouldn't have been elected. What I'm saying is nobody knew what the fuck to do with what's going on in this country.
No.
And nobody was doing anything about the problems we're having in this country.
No,
And in a lot of cases, the problems seem to be getting worse. So the people spoke, and this is who we ended up with, who's going to try and fix some of these problems. I do agree to some extent. I think he's going to do a lot of good. I think there's a lot of things that he can't do anything about. At the same time, I think there's a lot of things that he could really fuck up.
Well, I think
he doesn't.
No, I see what you're saying.
Because he's not a politician. He's not a typical.
It's a different approach.
Right, but in my opinion, that's kind of what we need right now.
No, I understand, but
we need somebody
he makes us look terrible, though. He makes us look absolutely terrible.
Yes.
I don't disagree with you. I feel like I don't particularly like him. I don't really have a lot of faith in him, but he hasn't done anything too terribly wrong yet. I mean, yeah, the abortion thing's weird. He's starting to fuck up a little bit.
Yeah.
And
honestly,
he's only been president for a few days. He may end up fucking fixing some shit, but
I don't know.
And I see why you're saying that coming from a different perspective, it might work because shit hasn't been working. I just think that I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, I don't either.
And,
I know
and there's no point in fucking bitching and complaining and arguing about it.
Right. I don't think.
Well, there's points in complaining.
Okay, here.
Points of being a bunch of dickholes.
Hopefully, things start to turn around, and he ends up doing a lot of good stuff. And it gets to the point where if he's doing enough good stuff, he gets elected to a second term. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I forgot the point I was trying to make. But
this is a very political episode we're having right now.
It is.
And we probably sound like a bunch of stupid dummies.
It is. But regardless of what happens, regardless of what good he does or what good he doesn't do, the world's not going to come to an end. He's got at least 4 years.
Probably not.
And if he doesn't do anything good, then he's out.
Yeah. I think they're worried about the things he does do and what the consequences may be.
Well, we all are. But at the same time,
the potential of these terrible things happening have been upped. You know what I mean? Quite a bit.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
No, I know what you're saying.
But I mean, I think we're just repeating ourselves right now, and we should probably end this episode maybe because we're reaching the hour mark soon. We're not quite there, but yeah, that's how we feel about it.
I think this country should just be single for a while. We don't need a president.
Yeah, what meme did you get that from?
It was somewhere on Facebook.
Exactly. I guess with that said, this has been episode number 30. Apparently, it's a very political episode.
Can't put anything on the internet that isn't true.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We still have not reached 100 subscribers on YouTube. We're getting there. We're close. We need less than 20 at this point. So if you'd like to, and if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. So we can finally get our custom YouTube Earl.
Earl.
You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/MattArcherMedia. All of the audio podcasts are available at our Bandcamp page for free, download, or streaming at mattarchermedia.bandcamp.com. Facebook, you already know. Instagram and Twitter, we are at mattarchermedia. Probably wondering why Jeffy Hughes wasn't on episode 30 like we said. That's because we actually, instead of him being on Jay and Mark, we just did our first episode of our Untitled podcast with Jay, which is basically the kind of the same thing with him as the guest.
So you're welcome.
More based around what
I'm
me
just
and Jeff
kidding.
wanted to talk about. But, go ahead and check that up if you want to. Not sure when the next episode will come out, but
Tomorrow.
it will indeed come out soon. Jeffy's a busy guy. That's why it only happens like once a month, maybe twice a month, depending on
You're so busy.
circumstances.
Punching people in the face.
Oh, he's got a daughter.
Spinning
too.
roundhouse kicks to the jaw.
He went on vacation, I believe. That's where he is now, or was. I don't. Depending on.
Where was our invitation?
This comes out on Friday, so he might be home by then.
How come we didn't get invited?
I don't know.
Thought we were friends.
Because
I don't think he cares about us as much as he says he did. He didn't even ask if we wanted to go.
you always have shitty things to say about him anymore. You want him to put you in a
No,
chokehold.
I love Jeff. I just like being a smart ass.
when he saw what you said, the trash talk video. He said, "I'm gonna put him in a chokehold," and I think he was probably joking. But if you keep it up, he's.
You know what
probably
though?
not gonna be joking.
I think he might actually do that, but
Oh, I definitely think he would.
but Jeff is too good of a person to actually choke me out. I think he would do it to make his point. He'd put me in that
He'd do it
chokehold.
to shut you the fuck up.
He'd put me in that chokehold to make his point. Hey, quit talking shit, and then he'd let me go and say, "Quit talking shit."
No, that'd be exactly. And
But-
guess what? You would quit talking shit.
Nah, I'd still keep fucking with him because
Wow.
I love him. I love him.
You're gonna.
I would still keep talking shit only because he knows I'm fucking with him.
That's fucked up. Well, I'm not that bold, but I respect your boldness, I suppose. With that said, this has been episode 30 of Jay and Mark. Thank you for watching, and until next time,
I am Mark.
I am Mark, and this is Jay. I was waiting for you to say poops.
Boops.
There we go.